The title of this particular video is Nikkei225 Technical Analysis, Market Structure and Key Levels. And what we'll do in regards to this particular index is analyze it from the monthly chart and all the way to about the H4 chart. And at this point in time, as you guys can see, we are on the monthly chart. And in regards to this particular chart, we can see that the market has been in a very strong upward trend. And in fact, I would say that at this point in time, the market is very much overbought. And I believe that we need to see a crash of sorts. Another thing that I also want to point out is that if we were to look at the previous all-time high, which is at this point over here, the market had given us a W structure at that point, or a double bottom over here. And what this means is that because price is closed above that structure, we want to see the market in the future come back to that level to give it a test. And at this level is where a lot of institutions will be looking to push the market further up. And that is because, guys, remember that whenever we have these patterns, we want to see price breaking to the upside of that neckline, and then in the future come back to the neckline to give it a test. And where the neckline is where we would look for those potential buy opportunities, and that is because the neckline is a very strong level of support. And to add to that, if it aligns with any key numbers that we have in regards to the Fibonacci retracement tool, it would add as further confluence and confirmation in as far as looking for potential buy opportunities at that level goes, right? And as you guys can see, we've added Fibonacci, and we can see that the neckline of this particular W structure, which is over here, we could say aligns more or less with the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level, which, as I said, adds as confluence in that should price from where it is come back to that level, at that level is where we would look for those potential buy opportunities. That is because, number one, remember guys, we have this W structure or double bottom. I know it doesn't look like one, but it is one, trust me. Number two, we have a neckline over there, right? Number three, the very same neckline is now a very strong level of support. Number four, if price comes back to that level, which is the neckline, right, it aligns with the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level, right? So as I said, it's a good area to potentially look for buy opportunities, right? I'm just going to add my actual level or support line or support area, if you want to call it that. There we go, more or less, right? And then from here, I'm just going to head down to the weekly chart. Let's see what's happening on the weekly chart. And remember guys, I said that on the monthly chart we have a W formation over here, as you guys can see. And now that we're on the weekly chart, we can see that it is an overextended W formation, where that first leg, right, is much higher than the second leg. And we said that it has a neckline over here, and that we want to see the market come back to that level to give it a test. And at that point is where we may potentially look for buy opportunities. But here we are again on the weekly chart. What do we have on the weekly chart? On the weekly chart, again, we can see that as much as the market had given us the structure, we also have a double top over here, which similarly has a neckline over there. And just like with W formations, we want to see the market come back to the neckline to give it a test. And at the neckline is where we may potentially look for sell opportunities, right? We may potentially look for sell opportunities. And again, just to stress this point, I'm not saying that should price come back to the neckline, we should sell. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying at that level is where we may potentially look for sell opportunities, which means that we need confirmation and confluence, right? I'm just gonna add a neckline for that double top or M structure, and the same principles apply, right? The same principles apply. I'm just gonna look to see if we have any key numbers that align with that neckline on the Fibonacci retracement tool. Let's have a look. There we go. And again, we can see more or less that the neckline of this double top, which is around here, we could say aligns with the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level. And should price come back to that level, at that level is where I believe again we may potentially look for sell opportunities. And if we do indeed find any good opportunities at that point, I believe that our first take profit should be around, if I can just mark it, around here somewhere. Why do I say that level? That is because we actually have a very strong level of support there, right? We have a very strong level of support there, and we may see the market actually push this level only to push further up to that level again, right? So we just need to be careful there. And again, guys, what else do we see in regards to this particular chart? At this point, I don't see anything. I'm just going to head down to the daily chart, and here we are on the daily chart. And on the daily chart, I'm just going to start off by adding my daily channel, so just bear with me while I do so. Let's have a look. Daily channel, I would add it more or less in this manner, right? And we can see that in regards to the daily chart, we are indeed in an upward trend, right? We can see that we are in an upward trend, right? Which means that for the most part, we should indeed be looking for buy opportunities, as I said earlier. However, having said that, just remember that on the bigger time frames, we spoke about how the market had given us, if we can just mark it, the market had given us a huge W structure here, and we said that we may potentially see the market come back to that level. And at this level, we also have a very strong level of support, which also aligns with the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level. And I said that at this level is where a lot of institutions will be looking to move the market further up, right? Anyway, another thing that we mentioned again on the weekly chart is that the market had given us this double top, which similarly has a neckline at that point. And we said that we want to see the market come back to the neckline to give it a test, and at that point is where we may potentially look for sell opportunities. And if we do indeed find any good ones at that point, our first take profit should be around here somewhere, right? Remember that. And as much as I'm saying that our first take profit should be around here somewhere, just bear in mind that we also have this very strong level of dynamic support, and it is quite possible that price may only move all the way to this level where we have that dynamic support, and at that point is where we may potentially see the market actually move further up. So we need to be careful, and what I'm doing at this point in time is just showing you some of the outcomes that we may encounter as far as Nikkei225 is concerned. And yeah, so let's continue. What else do we see, guys? So as much as, again, the market had given us this double top, and I'm saying that we may potentially see the market move further down to that level, just also note that we also have another overextended W formation over there, which similarly has a neckline more or less at that point. Can you guys see that? This means that again we may see the market break to the upside of that neckline, come back to the neckline, and then at that neckline is where again we may see the market push further up, disregarding the structure that I'd spoken about earlier, right? So for now, I'm just going to add my neckline for that smaller W structure. I hope you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm doing. There we go, just to zoom in, right? And as I said, the W structure is here, and again it is an overextended W structure where that first leg is much lower than that second leg, and as I said, it has a neckline more or less at that point. We saw price break into the upside, come back to the neckline to give it a test, and at this point again is where we may potentially see the market move further up, right? Again, just to utilize Fibonacci, let's have a look. Fibonacci, let's see, right? And to utilize Fibonacci, we can see that the neckline, which is over here, right, of this overextended W structure, aligns with the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement level, and again it adds as further confluence in as far as looking for further buy opportunities go, right? So at this point, I'm not saying that we should be buying. I'm saying that based on price action, there's a good chance that we may see the market actually move further up, right? But myself personally, just to remove this tool, myself personally, my bias at this point in time is for the market to move further down, and that is because, remember guys, we have this bigger double top which has a neckline at that point, and the neckline also aligns with the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level. And I said that at this level where price is more or less at is where I believe that we may potentially see the market move further down to around this level first, and secondly to around this level, right, which is where I said a lot of institutions will be looking to move the market further up from that level, right? I hope you guys can see that, and I hope my analysis is not too confusing. Having said that, however, right, just as I said, note that we have this opposing structure, which is an overextended W structure, and it is quite possible that price may head all the way to that point again to retest the neckline, which is over here of this huge double top, right? and at this point again we may see the market actually move further down or even up for that matter, right? So remember guys, I'm just speculating. Anyway, from here let's head down to the H4 chart, and here we are on the H4 chart, and on the H4 chart I'm going to start off by adding my H4 channel. Just bear with me, let's have a look. How would I add my H4 channel? Let's have a look. H4 channel, more or less I would add my H4 channel in this manner. And just remember that we need to ensure that whatever drawings that we do indeed add to our charts are as close to perfection as possible. And there we go, right? And in regards to the H4 chart, and in fact before we continue, I just want to recap. Remember guys that on the daily chart I spoke about how the market had given us this W structure which has a neckline there, and price came back to the neckline to give it a test, and we said at this point we may see the market actually move further up to that point, and at that point again we may see the market move further down or even up for that matter. But now that we're on the H4 chart, just to zoom out, and we can see that we are in a downward trajectory, which means that for the most part, in as far as this chart goes, we should be looking for sell opportunities. However, also note that this dynamic resistance has had multiple rejections at that point, and it is quite possible that we may see price bounce off of this level only to push further down, which is in line with how, remember guys, we have that huge double top which has a neckline there. We said we want to see price come back to the neckline, and at this point is where we may see the market again push further down, right? So again guys, I'm just showing you some of the possible outcomes that we may encounter, right? We may see price or the market from where it is actually move further down, right? But just note that we have this very strong level of support, which is the neckline of this W structure, and the market may push this level only to move further up, right? But myself personally, I will be looking for sell opportunities for the most part, right? Another thing that I also want to mention, as much as we have the structure, right, we also have another W structure here which similarly has a neckline at that point, and it seems as though that price has violated the neckline to the upside. However, just remember we have this very strong dynamic resistance, and the market may move further down, right? Having said that, myself personally, I actually want to see price break into the upside of this point to around there again and to the previous high, right, which is this month's high, I believe, right? And at that point is where I will look for potential sell opportunities, right? I would look for potential sell opportunities at that point. And that is it guys. And as far as my analysis goes, just to zoom out, remember guys, we have this huge double top, right? And price came back to that level to give it a test, and at this point is where I believe that the market is likely to move further down, right? However, as much as I'm saying that, remember that whenever we have these patterns, these double tops, right, a lot of traders and investors actually sell at that point, and they place their stop losses just above, right? Which means that people sold here and placed their stop losses just above, which means that we have a lot of liquidity stuck at that level, and it would make sense for the market to actually disregard this structure by moving all the way up to trigger all of those stop losses, and then only, you know, once reaching this point, moving further down to give us a huge double top. I hope you guys can see that. And again, I'm just speculating, but it is a possibility, and we just need to be careful. But in closing and in conclusion, I want to see price head back to around this level, right? If price reaches here, that's where I will be looking to sell, because chances are, based on my technical analysis, we are going to see the market actually crash somewhat.